Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In this finance video, what I want to talk to you guys about is the ever important emergency fund. I think every short king, everybody in general, needs to know about this and use it in their life. Inspired by the Dave Ramsey approach, I'm going to break down what an emergency fund is for, why you need it, and how it can give you peace of mind. First things first, life is unpredictable. A lot of things can happen that you just need money put aside for. For example, the transmission of my vehicle, as I mentioned in a previous video, went. So having that emergency fund allowed me to quickly deal with the situation and get my vehicle back on the road. Having that emergency fund is like having that financial safety net. Keeps you from going into debt when the unexpected happens, and it's going to give you that peace of mind. So how much should you save? Well, according to the Dave Ramsey approach, your initial $1,000 while you're paying off your debt is going to be your emergency starter fund. $1,000. Now, a lot of people are going to say that's not a lot. Again, this is a starter emergency fund because in the last few years, as I developed this and paid off my debt, there was no situation I couldn't speak to somebody and just be like, look, I've got $1,000 to start off and handle this emergency. And typically they've been more than easy to work with, where it's like, yeah, we'll take $1,000 and then next pay, and then it's all paid off. Then you'll build up your $1,000 emergency fund. So the starter is $1,000 according to the Dave Ramsey approach. This is while you're paying off your debt. This will be enough to cover most minor emergencies. Once you have that $1,000, you're gonna work your way up to 3 to 6 months of expenses. That's your four walls, your utilities, food, and anything else you would consider necessity. The bigger fund is your ultimate safety net for things that happen like losing your job or a major vehicle issue, like having to replace my transmission. So how do you build your emergency fund? We're gonna go over 4 steps to help you build that. In step 1, you're going to budget, right? What I like to do when I do my budgets is I'll look at a time horizon of, let's say, by X date, I'd like to have this much. And then I'll work backwards. I'll just take the amount I want saved divided by the time horizon, and that'll give me how much per month I need to save or per paycheck. And if you find that it's outside your ability to pay that much, you're going to extend your time horizon. Step 2, once you have that information, you can start at that higher end of trying to achieve that goal, or you can start even smaller. Even $20 a paycheck, $40, $100 a paycheck, over time is going to get you to that 3 to 6 months emergency fund. And again, milestones, $1,000 to start, next 3 months, and then 6 months after that. When it comes to the 3 to 6 months, it depends also on your job. If you're in a secure position, 3-month emergency fund might be what's more recommended and more suited for you. But if you're in the gig economy or sales, a 6-month emergency fund to handle those lulls might be more beneficial to you. Step 3, I highly recommend this. I use Wealthsimple, and I'll tell you why I use Wealthsimple to do this, but you're gonna wanna automate your savings. What I really like about Wealthsimple is instead of giving you a date that it's going to pull money from, you can set it so that it draws directly from your paycheck when your paycheck lands, as opposed to it coming out on the 15th because holidays or weekends are going to adjust that. So with Wealthsimple, once the paycheck hits, it will then deduct how much I put towards my savings, making it so much easier. And you can automate that directly towards your emergency fund account. The 4th step, highly recommend keeping it separate. You don't want it in your investments and you don't want it part of your primary cash. You're going to want that emergency fund to be available and liquid so you can actually access it right away. If it's in a TFSA, it's going to take 3 to 4 or 5 days before it actually hits your account to deal with the emergency. And sometimes you only have a couple days to deal with it. For example, your pet gets sick, you're going to want to take emergency fund money and go deal with it right away. So keep it separate from your primary account and your investments. Now I've touched on a few things, but emergency fund is for true emergencies only. A new watch is not an emergency, right? And if it's something that's coming up, it's not an emergency. If you could sit down and budget it into your upcoming paychecks and then have it ready for the time that it becomes an issue, then that's not an emergency, right? So emergency fund is for immediate things. With that being said, there are so many benefits to having that emergency fund. Top of mind for me is the peace of mind and the ease in which I sleep and go through my day knowing that anything happens, I've got some money to deal with it. It's also going to help you avoid debt. If you have an emergency fund, you don't need a credit line, you don't need a credit card. You have your emergency fund, and you should be using your paycheck to help fund your other activities or hustles or other jobs or things you need, right? You work it into your paycheck. Move at the speed of cash, so that way you're not running into debt. And emergency fund is going to keep you from going into debt. You're not going to have to put that transmission on a credit card like I didn't have to do. It's also going to give you financial stability. It provides a solid foundation and helps you keep track of your goals. Also a big deal when it comes to habits, right? It's not just about the math, it's about the habits that you developed to build this emergency fund. Some people could argue that you could have a better ROI doing things a certain way, but the fact that you put in the work, saved the money, is a beneficial skill to develop. Building an emergency fund is one of the smartest financial moves you can make. It's a simple concept, but it has a big impact on your life with all the skills and things you learn along the way. Big thing, start small, stay disciplined, and you can watch your money grow that way. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Feel free to ask questions. I'm more than happy to respond in the comments, and I'll catch you in the next video.